Hello, my name is Cameron, and in this video I'm going to be demonstrating a note taker app that I put contributions towards. The project started with taking a look at polished starter code, which entirely handled the client-side experience. My task was to create a server, establish client-to-server communication, and then finish by creating the logic that was responsible for looking at the client side information, transforming it, and then sending back finished product information that the client side requested, and would then use to populate a web browser page. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the files that house my contributions to this project, and then we'll look at a little bit of the logic of what it's doing exactly, and then I'm going to pull over a deployed application in a web browser off of Heroku so we can actually take a look at the app and its functionality. So let's jump right in. What we're seeing here is a db.json or database.json file. This isn't going to do much, and we're going to move on quickly from this, but when the client sends information over, what's going to happen when the server-side logic is it's going to take that information and it's going to be pushing in writing file information to this, and then this particular file is what's being sent back to the client. In this server JavaScript file, this houses just the code blocks that are responsible for creating the server. It's here in this index.json file that's in an HTML routes directory where we start to see the communication be established between client and server. So here we just know when the client is visiting these URLs, we're able to send back the public access HTML files, so something renders on their page. It is this index file in the API routes directory that houses a big portion of my contribution in making this application work. We're going to go through this quickly here. So on line 11, we have a notes array. It's going to be an array of objects. This is where we're going to house the notes that are created. On line 16, we are listening for activity on the notes page from client side. And when we do have those calls, we're sending back the database JSON file. On line 25, our code block here is when the client side information is to create a new note. Sends that requested information over. The first thing that we do is we grill into that request information and create a new object, which is going to represent the note. At this time, we are creating a unique ID for each note that's created. Then we push that object to the notes array. We stringify the entire array. And then lastly, we're going to write over the database JSON file, send that file back. On line 56, we have a code block where we are listening for the deletion of a note. This is a bonus piece that was recommended we try and code out, and I was able to do so successfully. So you can see we grill into the response information to find essentially the event listener click for the element on the page that the user deleted or is hoping to delete. Then we use a .find index method to search the notes array and find a matching ID, unique ID. Once we have, we splice that index out of the array, which represents the note that the user wanted to delete. We stringify the new array, and then we overwrite the database file with that new array content. We send that new file back to client side. So let me pull over our deployed application on Heroku. As you can see, we're on the index page. Get started is responsive, brings us to our notes. I am going to open up the inspector tool so that you can see our unique IDs are populating with these notes. And as you can see, I also am a little bit short on time, so we'll be quick about this. Just adding some basic notes. You see them populate here with their unique IDs and everything's responsive. So lastly, let's go ahead and delete a few of these notes at random. And as you can see, it's updating and removing them by ID. So our application is working successfully, and as you can see here in the URL, deployed on Heroku. So thank you for watching.